All right, so let's talk. Heard the retirement talk about Taylor Decker, and then now people are, ESPN is predicting that the Lions may get rid of him. Uh, and like I said this before, he pretty much, from my memory, took over a spot that him and Frank Ragnow filled the hole that really held the Lions back from success. Jeff Backus was terrible at left tackle. The Lions, they liked him so much as a person, and he got Stafford killed. He got many quarterbacks killed. Jeff Backus was trash. But the Lions operated on, if we like you, we gonna keep you around. Dominic Raiola was getting pushed back into quarterbacks' laps for his whole career, other than his second from last season in the league. I mean, second from last season with us. He had this revelation and got stronger. And once he was able to do better at center, you know, we got more successful. But he was trash. He was trash for years as a center and a left tackle. So Taylor Decker helped heal, him and Frank Ragnow, who retired. They help heal the Lions offensive line roles. And the Lions, the fours allowed, those guys to stick around way too much in my humble opinion. Um, remember in Chicago, Jeff Backus was still in his 2 point stance and Stafford's shoulder was 10 feet in the dirt. I'll never forget that game. That's how Sean Hill ended up doing that. That's how we got the Calvin Johnson catch rule. That wasn't from Calvin Johnson to Stafford to Calvin Johnson. That ain't how that happened. That happened. That happened because it was Sean Hill to Stafford. That happened because Stafford got knocked out the game. Real talk. And Taylor Decker for he stabilized a position that was terrible, and Jeff Backus was just horrible. He was a 20,000% upgrade from Jeff Backus. Ask anybody that know football that's a Lion fan, they know I'm not telling the truth. Raiola and Backus held the Detroit Lions back for years. And Decker came in and gave us something that we didn't have as a really good left tackle. He wasn't extraordinary, but boy, you can trust him. But ESPN predicts the Lions will cut Decker if he does not retire the season. If Decker fell from 45th out of 69 tackles in pass block win rate, he ranks 61st in run block win rate. So the thing about it is this: he's never been a great run blocker. He's never been a great run blocker. So, at the end of the day, he dealing with shoulder injuries and down last year down in Arizona, he has an offseason home there allegedly. Him and Manu Giovanni was training down there last year. So he been trying to prep young bull for this. And when you hear when he retired, you hear about the injuries that he dealing with and everything that he going with. Very understandable. Very understandable. And you just got to sit down and talk with him. It's like, okay, what else can we do to get you healthy, to get you playing at that level? Does it benefit the Lions to move on from him right now? Or does it benefit them to keep him another year? And you got to talk to him about, okay, what can we do to get you healthy or to get you playing at the best level that we can get you playing at? And that's the question. What can we do? But honestly, you possibly could be adding 2 more offensive linemen anyway. All right, you probably gonna add another guard, add another center. You probably gonna add another guard. You probably gonna add another center. Okay, so hey, if why change the offensive line up 2 years in a row? If you gonna make big changes, I feel like if you gonna make big changes, go ahead and say, hey man, hey, we love your services. We gonna move on. But this is priority. If he leaves, I mean, regardless if he stays, it's priority. It's priority. This is the most important thing on their agenda, more than pass rusher, more than safety. Whatever y'all feel is important. Me personally, if you take this out of it and you tell me Tate Ratledge's gonna be your center, probably find an interior pass rusher is the number one thing on their line. Everybody talking about they got to be another edge. They need somebody in the inside that can push the pocket. They don't have that. That would be my number one thing is an interior pass rusher. Personally, if I figure this out with him, and regardless if he retires or stays or he cut, they got to find the guy behind him. Now, realistically, what you would do is you draft a guy that can play left tackle, you play him on the right side, and then you transfer him to the left. That's ideally what you would want to do, but you got Sewell at right. People say, well, switch Sewell to the left. The problem with that is Sewell isn't a great pass blocker. He's an average, above average, maybe a B pass blocker at best. Your left side, golf backside, you want that to be the pass side. That's why Decker and Sewell work so well together. Run side, right side, pass side, the blind side, left side. So realistically, what they can do is if you can bring him back, do you put Manu Giovanni at guard, or do you go get a tackle, a guy that could be ready or not ready to play left tackle? Maybe he's a really good right tackle and just need a little bit of tweak here at left tackle. Do you go there? Do you just say you play guard 1 year, then we switch it? Personally, the priority is to get left tackle, regardless if he stays or goes. If I stay or the priority is left tackle. Getting somebody in there you feel good about. So I heard Dan Skipper retire. Shout out to him. So the priority is left tackle. But aside, if I can go find me a really good left tackle, a young kid, and I got Manu Giovanni as a good backup, and maybe I go spend some money on a solid veteran. Personally, after that, I'm going to Tennessee. I'm going to Tennessee and getting that defensive tackle out of Tennessee. I know it's going to be hard to get him with Rob Salah there. But if I can find me a solution to my left tackle, I would literally give up my next first round pick, my next first and second round pick. I would literally get that up to have that Jeffrey Simons guy from the Tennessee Titans. That's exactly what they need. I'm just keeping it being. That's exactly what they need. But this is the priority. I mean, he really was an upgrade from his predecessor. He really was an upgrade. So I always fuck with Decker from that situation. Even though he went to Ohio State Buckeyes, but yeah, I always fuck with him from that standpoint. Man, he brought a lot of stability where it was a terrible. Jeff Backus was terrible, but at this point, it's time to move on. Prepare to move on with somebody you like, but that's that priority. Left tackle, figure out you're gonna do at center, find you a guard. That's the priority. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Hit the link in the description. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Peace.